My name is Mike Cherman from ICNY Sport, and I'm here with
Dondero from LQQK Studio.
And we're gonna show you how to screen print a t-shirt today. We literally took some photos outside of the concrete, really just trying to gauge the texture. Okay, and we're gonna take this photo, we're gonna bring it into Photoshop, moving this image into 300 DPI. That's gonna make sure your image is high resolution and just turning it to grayscale. We wanna try to bump up our values a little bit.
Now that we've kind of beefed up the contrast, we're gonna decide what type of halftone we're gonna lay on this thing. So halftone essentially is taking an image that has full range of tones and it translates all those into either a dot or a line or whatever shape.
Very effectively, you can see this image does not look any different, but at the core of it, it actually has changed and is now evolved. I'm gonna take this file and we're literally just gonna overlay this logo into this. We're kind of good to go to export this file for printing our transparency.
So now that we have the image, this is transparent inkjet media. So it has a coated side and a non-coated side. I like where everything's at with the quality it's gonna print at. Just let it run. There it is. Not bad. So now that we have our transparency, I gotta coat the screen with a photosensitive emulsion. You should probably do it in the dark. That's the best way to do it. You take a scoop coater. You wanna get a generous amount in there. You take it, slide it up against, stop a little bit short, pull it back, and then scoop the rest out so it doesn't drip. Now you put it in your dark room. While I'm letting that dry, I'm gonna clean up the exposure unit. Anything that's on this glass will be on your screen. For people who don't have exposure units, there are definitely ways to do exposures in the sun. It's a lot of trial and error. You would generally get like a big pane of glass on top of your transparency and your screen, and you can leave it out in the sun. So now that I got my screen ready to go, I lay my screen on the transparency where I know I kind of want it placed. You want it flush on the screen when you're exposing. So you take a rope that leads to a little vacuum intake over here, latch it down, fire up the machine, and you'll see the level going down with a full channel of suction. I can shoot it for around 5 minutes with this exposure unit. Timer went off, exposure's done. Now we're gonna take this over to the sink and wash it out. If it was a little bit warmer outside, I would put it outside to dry, but I have a space heater. Yep, give it a little heat. So now that I got a dry screen, granted I have a big carousel, you don't have to have a big fancy setup. As long as you have a flat, stiff area, and you can kind of do this wherever you want. In order to get the screen ready to even print, we have to block off all the open areas that we don't want ink getting through. I also have marked on this platen X and Y axis. I want to make sure when I'm lining up my screen, I'm looking through and I'm making sure it's perfectly centered. I think for this print, it'll look really nice to have a water-based finish on it. Water-based tend to be a little bit softer, but I could have easily used a plastisol ink, which is an oil-based ink that you need an oven to cure the inks. So we're gonna stray away from plastisol today. So put my squeegee on there and get ready to load a shirt onto this platen. I'm looking to make sure, I got equal distance on either side of the sleeve. And so now I'm gonna flood the screen. So that puts ink into the image, and now I'm ready to actually pull the shirt. So I keep a little ink back, just pull it, but then there it is. Looks great. That's the image. Thanks for coming by. I hope you guys learned a little about screen printing and that you can see that you don't necessarily need a commercial shop to do it. You can use simple techniques to get a one color hit, just like that.